It's so crazy to just be talking into a microphone again. Like, it's nuts. This is actually kind of difficult to do. How do we start this? On October 5th, 2022, I collapsed in my kitchen. And when I collapsed, I had no idea what was going on. It happened so fast. I felt this disgusting taste in the back of my mouth, and that woke me up from sleep. So I went into the kitchen to get some juice, and when I got the juice, I took a sip, I put the cap back on the juice, and then just collapsed. And I do mean collapsed. It was like having a bunch of Dementors parked right in front of me, like 20 Dementors from Harry Potter, and they were just sucking the soul out of my body. And it was the scariest thing I have ever been through. In the space of about, dude, I don't even know how long it was. It just felt like seconds. I called my wife and told her to call 911, and I started saying my goodbyes. Yep, that was it. I thought that for real, that was it. Now, I had been having problems with my heart at this point in time. Those problems with my heart led us to believe that I was probably having a heart attack at that point in time. There was no second guessing it. We thought that those were genuinely my last moments in this body on this earth. My wife called the paramedics. They came, they put me in the ambulance, and I don't really remember much at all, to be honest with you. The only thing I remember is I almost passed out at some point, and so they did the chest rub thing, where they rub your chest, and that brought me back around, but I was still just so, it was like shadows of dreams and stuff. I don't really remember what happened. And then we got to the hospital, and whatever was happening was over. But it rocked me to my core, and it was a catalyst that set off a whole bunch of things that were to come. So let me back up. Let me tell you who I was before this, because I used to just be a completely different human being than the one I am now. When I was young, it was a pretty traumatic childhood. There were a lot of factors as to why it was traumatic, and there were a lot of people involved in that trauma. Not a lot, a few, like a handful, like 3 or 4 people, right? That were involved in that trauma, and every single one of us that was involved in that trauma that lasted for like 15 years straight. None of us knew how to solve that problem. None of us knew how to act around each other. None of us had previous training about how do you be a good parent, how do you be a good child, how do you be a good son, how do you be a good mother, how do you be a good father, how do you be a good brother. It was a really rough situation. After that 15-year period, when I finally escaped, I spent the next 10 years being angry and pissed off at everything. And I do mean everything. I was so upset and so angry all the time that I started looking for ways to drown out that anger, to drown out the bullshit of what I went through. And that turned into drugs, that turned into partying, that turned into alcohol, that turned into all kinds of things. There were times when I didn't think I was going to be able to claw my way back out of that. And then I moved out to Colorado, and that was an eye-opening experience. So when I got here, I brought all that anger with me. I was trying to run from it, but you can't run from it. It's impossible to run from that anger. It's impossible to run from your trauma. And as I learned, the more you pack it down, the worse it gets. It's like mud. You know, you can pack mud down and you pack mud down and you pack mud down, and eventually it becomes a rock. It dries, it hardens, and it just becomes so solid and so strong that you can't beat it. You can't beat it. But I was still carrying that with me when I came out here. And through a series of rocky friendships and certainly rocky relationships, that anger that I carried with me shut me down a lot. And it was crazy. I was capable of doing so much by the time I got to Colorado. It was ridiculous. And when I mean capable of doing so much, I mean I'm a polymath. I'm one of those guys that can literally do anything. But when I got here, it seemed like I was going nowhere. I was trying so hard to find the next thing. What is gonna catapult me to success in this? What is gonna catapult me to success in that? How am I gonna benefit from this? How am I gonna benefit from that? But the truth of the matter is there was no way that I was gonna benefit from any of it because I was still carrying all that baggage. And that anger was fucking up every single fucking relationship I had. It was crazy. I literally had friends, best friends, saying, do you know why that happened to you? That happened to you because you're so angry all the fucking time. And I still couldn't take it. I couldn't digest it. I did not understand. So then the world changed for me. I'm a firm believer in the universe. I'm not a God kind of guy, but I do believe that everything here happens for a reason and not because of some mystical person in the sky making it happen that way. I met this amazing woman and she started to put me back together. And over time, we built a great life together. We got married, we had a kid, everything was good, but I was still, to that day, was carrying that anger with me. Leading up to the days of October 5th, I was really realizing our situation. I was seeing that we didn't have anything in retirement. We didn't have any way to make a retirement. We didn't have any kind of investments. We were not prepared. I was working a job, and as of recording this podcast, I'm still working that job that could have ended at any moment and still can end at any moment. We were coasting along and we weren't making headway. We weren't pushing towards a future of retirement and peace. And that ate at me. That ate at me so hard. And so I started pushing myself more and more and more and more and more. And the more I pushed myself, the more of a toll it took on my body. COVID happened. I started drinking really heavily all the time. I didn't have an alcohol problem per se. I wasn't addicted to the alcohol, but I was using it to go to sleep every night. I was working until who knows how late at night every single night, getting up, getting only like 5 to 6 hours of sleep. And when it all caught up with me, it destroyed me. It put me on the floor of the kitchen, gasping for air and afraid that I was losing my life. I never, ever, 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 ever want to go back there. I've seen some shit. I've done some shit. I promise you, I've watched people die. I've been there looking into their eyes when people die in like really horrific fashion. And it's fucking scary, but nothing is as scary as when it's happening to you. I don't ever want to go back there. You know, you hear those stories of people that have these crazy bad events that happen to them. And on the other side of those crazy bad events, they find this light. They find this purpose, this reason for being, and it completely changes who they are. It changes their meaning in life, and it changes what they seek after in life, their purpose. It took a few months to really figure it out, but it started to congeal, and that coalescing of concepts for me is what brings me here. It's what puts me in front of this microphone and in front of this camera, recording this for you. I went through so much shit. And in that shit, I learned so many lessons, but I couldn't understand the lessons I was learning at the time. I needed to be smacked in the face by the universe in order to get the picture. My purpose, I believe, is to help people that are going through what I went through, that are pushing themselves too hard, or that are suffering with trauma and that don't understand what's happening to them, why things are going wrong for them, why this person doesn't like them, why that situation didn't work out for them, or even who they are. At their very core, who they are. I think that my purpose is wrapped around that concept somehow. So you're here. I'm here. So we're going to do it over a series of episodes, and there's all kinds of other things that we're going to utilize to not only find my purpose, but to help you find yours. I want you to be able to break free from your trauma. I want you to be able to break free from the aggression. I want you to be able to break free from the fear. And if you are dealing with anxiety and panic, I want to help you with that too. I am not a board certified psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, any of those things. I'm just some poor fucking schmuck who has been through some shit. I'm trying to figure it out. But I do have a few tools in my back pocket. In my time on this planet, my 47 revolutions around the sun, I have picked up a tremendous amount of skills. I've picked up audio skills, I've picked up video skills, design. I've done everything under the sun. Once again, I'm a polymath. I can leverage those things into, I guess you could say, tools that can help you out. One of the first tools that we've already created, and I say we, me and some friends, You'll meet them in later episodes. One of the tools that we've already carved out is a meditation app. Now, this is not just your average everyday meditation app. This is something different, I guess you could say. With this meditation app, we looked at people that have difficulty meditating, such as people with trauma, people with anxiety, people that suffer from panic attacks. And we recognize that sitting alone with your thoughts makes it really difficult. It makes it really, really hard to sit in silence. And so most people give up on meditation before they even can really get deep into it. So Empty Cup takes a different approach. We use theatrical soundtracks and sound effects to lure you in, to entice your imagination. And then we give you this incredible meditative experience that is wrapped in fiction. And you're the star of the fiction. These meditations are incredibly powerful, and they take deep dives into helping you discover who you are, what's wrong, what needs to be fixed, how do you feel about yourself. But they're not lame, right? They're super, super amazing. They're amazing in the fact that you get to do things like catch lightning, stop time, fly, make entire forests breathe with you, move mountains, shift rocks, all kinds of crazy, like God of your own world level shit. The beautiful thing about it is that you don't need to know how to meditate. You don't need to be a skilled meditation practitioner to utilize this tool. You can just jump in and start going. And it's freaking fantastic. We've got some other people that are involved, like I said, that you'll meet in later episodes of this podcast / video series / wherever the hell you're getting this from. And those people will bring their own stories to you to help you learn, to help you grow. Most of these people have phenomenal backstories. Those moments that we're talking about, those point of no return kind of moments, those point of no return moments are present in almost all of their stories. And it's freaking fantastic. And we're going to reach out to other people as well. So here are some of the ways that I'm going to use this platform, this voice, and my experience to help you grow. First and foremost is the meditation app. That one is amazing. We're going to use that a lot, but there's also other things that we're going to put out, like this podcast. We're going to put out blog posts, daily videos. You can tune into my social media and get little nuggets of joy every single day. You're also going to be able to link up with other members of the Empty Cup family, and you're going to be able to get nuggets of joy from them because they do the same thing. They put out these phenomenal pieces of content that can help you really realize and learn and grow. It's just a really incredible experience to be involved with these people. I just wanted to say thank you so much for sitting and listening to me ramble. This podcast is going to be something phenomenal. I think you're going to dig it. Stay on for the ride. Get hooked up with us on your social media. Get hooked up with us through this podcast. Get it in your podcast provider and just enjoy, man. We'll catch you on the flip side.